I think if I hear you call me Becky one more time, six-pack, I'm gonna pop your tops. All six of them.
Who are you?
Hey, this is Matt. Once again, we're about to another review. There's another paid request, this time for Ben. Thank you so much for that. And for those interested in requesting pretty much any type of videos or reviews or topics or random or what have you, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. And this is for the 2013 film Joe, which I got this as a gift a long time ago and haven't gotten around to seeing it until now. Just been very busy. But yeah, Joe is directed by David Gordon Green. If that name sounds familiar, he directed The Pineapple Express, Your Highness, both films I enjoy. And he directed Halloween 2018, and now the new one. And this is one of those films that after watching it, it was okay. I didn't love the film. I would say the performances are worth a watch. Nicolas Cage, this kid, Ty Sheridan, who would actually be the star in Ready Player One, I think he did a better job here than in that movie. You also had, what was his name? This guy who played this kid's father. This kid's father is played by a guy who is a real homeless guy, real alcoholic, and sadly, like 2 months after, he was found dead in real life. So, I mean, he played the part well and he was believable. Sadly, it gets too believable, because again, he passed away a few months after. Here's the thing with the film. It's a movie that wanders a lot, and you're kind of waiting for it to get to the point. It's an almost 2-hour movie. And in a way, it's not the same plot, but it made me think of this kind of a version of Sling Blade. You have a character, an older character with a past, a violent past, meets with a younger kid. They become friends with each other. The younger kid is being abused by a parental figure. And ultimately, your lead character has to get involved because the younger kid says, I'm going to kill that person, I'm going to do this and do that. And you have your lead going, no, stay home, stay here, I'll take care of it. And they do. Now, you can say that for a lot of other movies, to be fair. And it doesn't share a lot of specifics, but it did remind me of Sling Blade. It made me go, I'd rather watch Sling Blade. Because Sling Blade, even that's a film I thought, kind of... But even that, even more so than this, felt like it had a trajectory. And plus with the lead character, his, I don't want to say affliction, but the way Billy Bob Thornton played that character, and here it just seemed more wandering around. Like, it didn't have a real strong fitting planted foot right there on that ground. Where do you want to take us, movie? What story do you want to take us? What direction? At times it does feel directionless, the story. And it goes from, okay, here's Ty Sheridan playing with his dad. I believe the Gary Polter is his name. A real homeless guy they found, and 2 months after completing the film, he died. So, that's too bad. Pretty much the kid finds Joe, played by Nicolas Cage, who has a group of guys working to clear the trees, supposed to poison the trees, get it ready so that people come in and take them down. He gets a job, he works hard. The workers in Nick Cage, like, oh, they commend him for working well. Hey, your dad wants a job, bring him over. He does, but the dad is a total fuck up and a drunk that both get fired, but then Ty Sheridan comes up and says, hey, I really need this job, and Nick Cage ultimately goes, okay, that's fine. You come upon, and we'll work together. And then Nick Cage notices more and more the abuse that this kid is going through. Now, I say all that, but then we're cutting to Nick Cage going to a convenience store where guys gets military stuff, or he goes to a $5 whorehouse with red lighting that has an asshole dog, which later leads to Nick Cage bringing his dog to fight that dog, or he goes up and gets dick wet for $5, and then comes back and his dog's alive, but their dog is dead, but his dog is all fucked up. And then you have this one guy who's got scars on his face, and he's supposed to be intimidating, but he's not, because he gets his ass kicked by everybody. And the 15-year-old kid kicks this guy's ass on the bridge. Nick Cage kicks this guy's ass in a bar. And I get that's part of the point, is that he talks tough, but he doesn't walk the walk. At the same time, you're still with this guy that he's not intimidating, you've lost any type of threat in the finale that's supposed to be some kind of threat. And actually, I thought when we're with the job, like Joe's job with his crew, the way his crew talked with each other is very southern, broken southern. Yeah, everywhere you look is dirty and ramshackled and broken down, and same with the people. It seems like every person is broken down in some way. But with that crew, I like their attitude, and like the way the one guy's talking with this kid's drunk dad, and the guy saying, you got a yeast infection on your face, you goddamn country motherfucker. Like, that's when the movie came alive for me, is those scenes. And I wish more of the movie was about Nick Cage and this group of people at this job clearing these trees. Because that's really when the film was alive for me. Because the way these guys were interacting with each other, and I felt a sense of energy, which then I didn't feel for a good chunks of this movie. I get what David Gordon Green was going for. Nick Cage's character, he keeps himself restrained because he has a violent past. And hey, if I keep restrained, it keeps me out of jail. And but then it has certain stuff that just... Ty Sheridan's dad is not only a drunk and abusive, he's a fucking psychopath. Because he literally goes up and murders an innocent homeless guy, caves his fucking head in to get a bottle of wine or whatever it is. Like, this guy deserves a lot more of a comeuppance than, spoiler alert, he jumps off a bridge himself. Which I don't really buy. And Nick Cage, he's not doing a bad job acting. I have no issues with... I like Nicolas Cage. I didn't think he was overacting or anything in this. I thought his interactions with the kid felt natural, heartfelt. Them relating to each other. Trying to get the money enough to buy the kid a car, a truck. But then, again, certain things that just seem off-kilter. Like, it goes from Nick Cage smacking the guy in the bar, then he goes to a whorehouse literally saying, I want to get blown. And then they have a dog, he goes, that dog is an asshole. Then he leaves, and that's what he gets. I'm like, how did that add up? It just, I want to get blown. The dog's an asshole. And then 5 minutes before, he smacked the shit out of a guy. And then 2 minutes before that, you have this asshole abusive dad caving a homeless man's head in for a drink. And again, the acting's not the problem. Like, Nick Cage, he threatens the abusive guy and goes, yeah, I'm a trud before I knock what's left of your fucking teeth out. And honestly, you like, do it. That's what we want. We want to see that motherfucker. Sling Blade did that. Like, that's one thing Sling Blade did. Billy Bob Thornton kills the motherfucker, and then you have a funny thing where he calls what he did, and then he sits down, and he's having food. And it makes sense because of the mental frame rate that the computer in Sling Blade's head is not running on all cylinders, so to speak. Here, there's some predictability. Spoiler alert. When you watch this kind of film, and there's an inkling, yeah, I would not be surprised if Nick Cage's character died. He does. Because again, the kid wants to kill his dad. Nick Cage's like, no, let me do it. The guy with the scars on his face has Ty Sheridan's sister. The Scarface and this other guy. One shoots Nick Cage on the side. He shoots both of them. He gets the abusive dad of this kid. The guy turns over to Nick Cage. Are you my friend? And then he jumps off the bridge. I'm like, I don't buy this guy who literally caved a homeless guy's face in for a bottle of alcohol. Maybe that's the point, is that, well, he was a chicken shit all along, but sorry, I would rather have seen Nick Cage shoot him in the face or break his fucking neck or knock the rest of his teeth out of his mouth and beat him to death. And then he dies of his wounds, or he goes back to jail. And then him dying, I'm like, that was predictable. I've seen that so many times before in movies. And it just, and then with the pacing, it just dragged at times. The fact was kind of boring. It was kind of boring at times. Again, out of 5 stars, I'd probably give this, I don't know, 2.5. Like, 2.5 is kind of like in the middle, where, I'm almost indifferent. I didn't hate it, didn't love it. That's what is in the middle. Well, okay, let me put it this way. Sling Blade, I would give 3.5 stars out of 5. This one, it's just not nearly as good. It's not nearly as funny like Sling Blade purposely is at times. I like Nick Cage, but his character, you know a little bit about him, but I didn't find him tremendously fascinating of a character of Joe. Like, Nick Cage does good. It's just, I can't say his character was the most interesting. Or it's stuff you've seen before many times. Guy with a violent past. restrains himself until he doesn't anymore. I mean, it's not something we haven't seen before a dozen times. It does get the feel of the redneck, down-to-earth, southern, 2 sectors away from a decayed state of affairs of this whole community. But I don't know, I don't get these reviews. Unforgettable, a nail biter. Believe it, I didn't bite my nails. One of Nicolas Cage's best performances? It's a decent performance. I don't know if I call one of his best. I mean, he's fine. But I don't know, the pacing, I think could have been stronger, tighter. That's what I'm looking for. It could have been a much tighter pacing, much more of a direction we're going in, much more of a point. Get there sooner, because a good chunk of it, you're like, where's this movie going? The whole guy with stars on his face, you didn't even need that character, honestly. You truly did not even need that character in the proceedings of this movie. It could have strictly been Joe relating to his job and maybe his life, but then helping this kid and deal strictly with the abusive father character. Which, to be fair, Sling Blade did that, and I thought was a bit more effective compared to this. So this, I don't know if I'll keep this Blu-ray, but there's really no way for, I'm not going to, I'll keep it because it was a gift. I'll keep it. It was a gift. I forget who sent it to me long ago. I apologize because it was years ago, but it was a gift. I'll keep it. It just, I wasn't really big on it. I'm sorry. There's another film that tried to do this called Mud with Matthew McConaughey, and I wasn't really big on that either, but I'll probably say I liked that a bit more than this, to be fair. Like, that would be more of a 3-star film. But, yeah, it is what it is. With that said, thanks for watching. Take care. I mean, and when I'm thinking of Nicolas Cage, I'd rather watch Mandy, Willy's Wonderland, Color Out of Space, even Pay the Ghost. Even though that has some wonky stuff in it too, but I got more entertainment out of that. I mean, this is a more satisfied acting job for Nick Cage. I'm just saying entertainment purposes. Because that is part of it too, entertainment. But with that said, if you like it, that's cool. Teach their own. I'm kind of indifferent. Got bored from time to time. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.